All right. So, what is Dungeons and Dragons? Basically, that is the beginning question we have.
Dungeon and Dragons. So Dungeon and Dragons is a role-playing game.
Yep.
A role-playing game.
And brought to you by Kami, the unpaid Lisa Simp. So we start at the beginning, and there are three things to know. One, the DM or Dungeon Master is God. You listen to them, you follow them, and you don't argue with them if they aren't assholes. Of course, that goes without saying.
Meaning like Dungeon Master controls the whole game. Meaning
Yeah.
like
Not like
not
every
like
single
actually control,
detail.
but maybe they're gonna make their own rule, and all players has to
Yeah,
abide with it.
yeah. They don't like control everything they do. Like they can't stop a player from like saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go do this." Well, the
Or
DM has
like
to
you
say,
cannot kill me or something. There's nothing like that. It's
"Yeah,
more of
they,
like they're basically gonna make a rule in the beginning of the game.
yeah, they are the storytellers. They are the voice actors for the NPCs,
Oh
and so
yeah, right. They're the ones who's reading those books, like continuation of the every story,
yep,
right? Okay.
they are the enemies in combat. They are anything you
Mhm.
need to do. You do to the DM
Mhm.
basically.
Okay. All right. Number two.
Anything inside of combat and checks are entirely based on luck. And what are checks? Checks are ability meters in a nutshell, basically.
Mhm.
So think about in an RPG how you have to have a certain level of strength to wield a weapon, how you need a certain level of intelligence to use a spell. That is what a check is. That is what you need. And
Mhm.
then how you do a check is with this dice. It is called this dice right here.
The D20.
It is
That's called D20 right there.
Yep, it is called a D20.
Okay.
And there are numbers from 1 to 20, of course. 20 is the best you can do. Anything you want, like if you're going to hit something, it will hit no matter what. If you're from like 500 yards away, you want to shoot a goblin in the head with a bow, it will hit. That arrow will go through the head, or it'll hit the goblin.
Mhm.
But the damage is
Really.
depends on that. Yeah, depends on other roles, of course.
Ah. Okay. Got
And
it.
so this is where other dice come in. So we have a. Oh, I gotta remember this too. Give me a sec.
So
I'm
the
bad.
damage is depends on the roll of those dice.
Yeah, because it could be.
So.
I'm bad at remembering dice names,
Mhm. And then just to
and so
be clear about the dungeon master, it is something that decided by whoever will play. So for example, your friends, you were gonna play with your friends, and you
yep,
guys will talk out who you guys want to be the dungeon master, and
yeah,
that's how you're
and
gonna
then
decide
basic.
it. So
Oh
the
no,
dungeon master has to be someone who actually knows the game.
yeah. Of course, they don't have to be the most experienced person in the world who takes everything seriously. That goes without saying. No one is perfect, and we're just here to have fun.
Hmm.
Oh man, one of my stickers coming off
And
this one.
Kami was mentioning earlier about the D1 that if you roll the D1, it won't
It is
hit
yeah,
anything. It's
yeah.
like,
It will not do anything.
yeah, I
So
feel bad for anyone who will roll it.
yeah, it'll basically be Katie's whole line is just gonna be D1.
Yeah,
So
yeah. See, I think it will be cool too. Like, if there's someone who wants to kill me and roll D1, and I'll be like having that evil laugh. Nice try. you know?
but again, that falls on the DM if he allows PvP or player versus player combat.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But so what is a D1? It is nothing. You cannot do it. If you have the stats for it, you are incapable of doing that action.
Mhm.
And then here was my reference. Let's
Okay.
say there is a monster in the dark. All your other all the other players in your group can see it, and if you roll a D1 while everyone else can see it, you say, "Oh, there's nothing there. I can't see it. I don't know what you guys are talking about." Your character is physically incapable of seeing a monster that is clearly there by everyone else's standards, but
Oh.
you cannot do it. You cannot see it, and you just choose to accept that.
Uh-huh. Okay, okay. All right. So
The character wise,
number
the
3 is just
the
to have
character
fun.
thing. Yeah, yeah. D&D is fun, and yes, it can be weird, confusing, and somewhat heartbreaking
It could
depending on the
ruin
story.
people's friendship, huh? All right. Next slide.
All right, and now we come on to the most important part: creating a character or an OC. And
Yes.
I have a feeling we shouldn't have to explain OCs here. We're all anime fans. We all know what those are. I feel like that goes without saying.
Yeah, basically you're making your own character. You can make your if I have a character in my own book, let's say Captain Destroyer,
That
I can decide what skills I want for that character.
yep,
It's my character anyways.
yeah,
So
but
you can use anime characters that is already built, or you can make your own. I think that's
yeah.
what's fun about this game.
Well, you can't, of course, steal anime characters because that goes against copyright infringement. But you can at least make abilities based off of them.
Really? Cause
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
I remember someone asked me to draw this character from Black Clover, and he wants to use that character in D&D.
Well, I mean, not everyone's gonna follow copyright. That's just what I say.
Mhm.
But yeah, but like creating your own character, that's the fun part of it. But yeah, you can have like abilities based on anime characters. Like
I see.
going back to the Black Clover one, he could have an ability that cancels out magic with a sword, but he's not running screaming, "Oh, I'm gonna be the Wizard King 24/7." They just have abilities based off of them,
I see. All right.
and so
Good to know.
there are there are four main things when creating a character:
Mhm.
choosing a race, choosing class, finding out the ability scores, and having a background. Those are the four basic things.
So you must choose a race,
Yep,
class. What?
like elves,
Excuse me. What is
dwarves,
class?
etc.
Class and race is the same thing.
No, it is not.
What is the class?
So let me get into that. Oh, this is here. Let's choose a race first, real quick.
Okay.
So here's some basic things to keep in mind when choosing a race. Every race has an ability score increase depending on if it's intelligence, perception, wisdom, strength, and dex,
Okay.
and
So
charisma. And charisma.
each player can
So
decide whatever race they want.
yeah, there's here. Here's the actual abilities though: strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. And every race has the ability to score has an increase of certain type of abilities. Yeah, it's confusing. They all have some kind of increase. It just varies race to race. A age. This has a effect on the character, and it's really up to the player to see like, oh, if I have an elf that's like 1,000 years old and is like really like wrinkled but like above anime elder, like you know how they are.
Mhm.
It's up to the DM if this actually impedes on the character in the game or not.
Okay.
But it usually doesn't matter as long as it's above, a certain
And for the
a certain
sizes, some of them are 4 to 8 feet tall. Well, most of them, but there are some
yeah
races that are smaller,
yeah
like lowlies.
most average races are about 4 to 8 feet tall. Again,
Okay.
just depends on the DM and if this is really important to you or not.
Okay. All right. Next.
Because and then speed just determines how fast you move in combat. or how many spaces you can move in a certain direction in combat. But outside of it, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And
Languages could be any.
languages determine whether or not you can speak to certain NPCs or non-player characters. This is a really good thing to know
Okay.
because in, but languages determine whether or not you can speak to certain races. But keep it in mind, all races can speak common, which is basically English in
English.
D&D.
Okay.
Yeah, basically. But or and then like whatever race you are, they can speak their native tongue.
Mhm.
Like a dwarf can speak dwarvish, elves can speak elvish, so on and so forth.
Mhm.
Those are what is important, and whatever class you can also choose to learn another language that you can speak. While it can be helpful, sometimes it can't. So like let's say someone speaks Dragonborn and there's no Dragonborn NPCs in the game,
Yeah.
then it's basically useless. But you can at least say, "Oh yeah, I speak Dragonborn." At least you can say you do.
All right. Next.
This was going to be part two of it, but that's all I got on the slideshow.
Gotcha.
However,
Mhm.
however, though, I was I was able to borrow my friend's DM or not DM guide, player's handbook, and this is where I'm teaching the rest of it.
Oh.
So right here, so basically, the rest of the class is going to be teaching from here. This is the official D&D guide for players
Uh
from the
huh.
people who made it.
What is the name of that book?
Well, the
Players.
player's handbook.
Players
I
Handbook.
was
Okay.
I was able to borrow it from my friend Ruben IRL, which he is awesome for because these usually run out to about 45 to 50 bucks.
Gotcha. Guys, do you play D&D? Cause we are planning to have a D&D game night one time. That's why we're having
with
this mini class.
with me with with me as the DM.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
also true.
yeah.
Don't worry. This is recorded live, so I'm gonna edit out this video to make a mini class video for the TI in action. You guys can watch that later, too, if you missed the first part of the class.
Which is early. There are two books I'm going to be teaching from.
Right.
One of course, the player's handbook
Mhm.
in the world that are madly expensive for no reason. These run out to like $50.
Okay. 50.
And
Sheesh.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Anime like not anime books. D&D stuff is madly expensive. Like
They're
I think a
expensive.
boss
And I'm
manual was
seeing their
like
merchandise
30.
in anime conventions too. It's crazy.
Uh-huh, but
Dices and stuff.
yeah. Hmm.
All right.
But the second book I'm teaching you from is called Anime 5E.
Anime, so you can have anime rules.
Yeah, these have anime rules. These have anime classes too.
I love that. I would love
Yeah.
to have anime in D&D.
Oh yeah, but that's what I plan on doing. There are different races in here, but I'll mostly just be going through the basic ones in here though. But I'll go through some classes too.